Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. I wanted to start things off today by saying thank you guys. I posted my first interview yesterday with Brad Cam of Unstoppable Domains, and I got an outpouring of positive comments. It was the first interview I've ever done on this channel, so I wasn't quite sure about the tech at first, and then we sorted through that, and then I was like, am I coming off all right? But you guys reassured me I did a good job. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it, and all the feedback as well. And as that was happening, guys, the crypto space was soaring, at least the altcoins. Bitcoin right now not doing as good as everything else, trading at 9,300, only up 0.42%. We've got Ethereum up 3.2. We've got XRP up 9.11. Let's look at some of the biggest gainers. Cardano, 25.92%. We've got Chainlink up 14.21%, Stellar up 11.37%. So the lower valued coins are doing fairly well in the space right now. VeChain 31.28% just in the last 24 hours. So guys, here's XRP. I'm gonna go over some of this a bit later. We've got VET here as well. Look at that, breaking through the ceiling, making new highs. So I might have to readjust where I'm going to get into this position. So is this an altcoin rally, or is this another fool's rally? Are we going to see a retracement? How big is it going to be? And should we watch out? Should we take profits now so as not to get burned down the road? I'm going to get into that a little later on, guys, but right now I'm going to talk about this here. XRP Crypto Wolf posted this. SEC Commissioner Cryptomom Hester Peirce is still working to make regulations flexible enough to allow more crypto innovation. So this from Cointelegraph. And this was from the Fireside Chat on July 7th. And so Commissioner Hester Peirce of the Security and Exchange Commission continued to advocate for regulatory clarity for crypto as a means of opening up capital markets to innovation. Here's a quote from her, okay? "The race to the bottom is something we should be concerned about, but that's all the more reason for a jurisdiction like the United States to try to develop a workable framework that allows people to come and avail themselves of our market." Peirce continued to advocate the role of the U.S. government in setting up the rules of the road, but also played down innovation coming from the public sector itself. Remember, she said, that innovation typically comes from outside the government sector. We need to set up a framework that allows people who spend a lot of time thinking about new ideas to continue to spend time thinking about those ideas and not a lot of time worrying about complying with regulations. There's another quote up here that I skipped originally. "I want to make sure that our regulatory structure was flexible enough to accommodate innovation." She noted that the size of the U.S. economy makes its regulations critical to global fundraising. So from the Securities and Exchange Commission, this is Hester Peirce, and she is the one who's dubbed Cryptomom, wanting more regulatory clarity in the space. And, for companies coming in, they just want to innovate. She talked a little bit here about the race to the bottom, and I know some of you guys might not know what that means. The race to the bottom refers to a competitive state where a company, state, or nation attempts to undercut the competition's prices by sacrificing quality or worker safety, defying regulations, or paying lower wages. So that's something the U.S. should be concerned about. More technology is coming out around different parts of the world. We know China is very, very competitive when it comes to the blockchain space. So, essentially she's saying, hey, look, United States, we need to do something about this to remain competitive and keep our upper hand. A lot of great innovation happening in the United States, so there's definitely no problems there. We just need to make sure it rolls out so that these companies don't have to worry, as she puts it, don't have to worry about complying with regulations and spend their precious time continuing to innovate. Great news coming from the SEC and Hester Peirce. We got this here, guys, another one from XRP Crypto Wolf. The European Central Bank intends to remain at the forefront of discussions concerning the nature of money in the digital world, including the exploration of the desirability and feasibility of establishing a central bank digital currency. So the ECB still working towards a digital currency. They will continue to monitor how new technologies change payment behaviors. Regardless of the choice of technology, the stability of money and payment systems should continue to rest on the firm's foundation central banks provide, maintaining the unit of account, guaranteeing the finality of payments, providing liquidity, and conducting oversight remain essential public goods that are provided by central banks. They are paramount to maintaining trust in a currency and safeguarding monetary sovereignty. So they want to remain at the forefront of discussions concerning the nature of money in the digital world, including the exploration of the desirability and feasibility of establishing a central bank digital currency. So still in the works. We know this is coming. We just don't know when it is going to happen. But guys, the space is becoming more robust as we speak. Every single day we're seeing movement, cryptocurrency adoption at our doorstep, and have more investors become privy to this. And is this possibly why we're seeing an altcoin rally right now? We got this as well from Matt at Matthew Liny here on Twitter. Ripple partner PwC sees future success in finance, and that will be determined by the following. So post a few screen grabs here. PwC, guys, as we know, a Ripple partner, and they are just outlining how the next generation of finance will change compared to former generations. So actually, I'm going to go down to this screen grab here first. So finance organizations are struggling to define what will be needed to succeed in a digital world, and it outlines what it looked like in the early 1970s and then in the 2000s, which was Generation 2. Today is Generation 3, and the future, 2025, the next generation of finance. Digitally enabled processes and data provide real-time settlement and information, drastic change in finance service delivery model, new financial skills required to compete. So these are just some of the bullet points here describing what the future of finance will look like in 2025 and beyond. You guys can read what the historical methods were, but I thought this was an interesting infographic. The next generation finance will reduce the size of finance by 50% and require a dramatic shift in finance skills and capabilities. So the current state headcount, we see insight and action, reporting and compliance, transaction and processing taking up the bulk of the resources. But this is all going to flip, okay? Insight and action is going to be the bulk, whereas reporting and compliance somewhere in the middle, and transaction and processing very, very efficient here right at the tip. That is going to happen through analytics, process mining, the cloud, blockchain, and robotics. So this is quite figuratively going to be reversed, flipping the whole system on its head, and quite literally here, flipping this triangle graphic on its head just to demonstrate that for you visual learners out there. So just another point to the future of finance. Thanks so much, Matt, for pointing that out. We got this, guys. I got a lot today. The Cryptic Poet here. This was just in. I couldn't get to it because of the interview I did yesterday, so I didn't mention it in yesterday's video. Got to mention it now. Just going to briefly go over this. The People's Community Bank selects Ripple partner Finastra to modernize its core and digital banking platform. So yes, Finastra, another Ripple partner, and they announced that the People's Community Bank is expanding its relationship with Finastra in order to provide its customers with enhanced digital capabilities and speed to innovation. The People's Community Bank has worked with Finastra for over 20 years and is now upgrading to the Fusion Phoenix core platform and adding Fusion Digital Banking, Fusion Laser Pro, and other Finastra solutions. And this point just goes towards leveling the playing field, guys. I'm going to go down to this quote here real quick. As a small community bank, being able to leverage a relationship with a large international vendor like Finastra gives us the assurance that we will remain forward-thinking and competitive. This from Quinn Christensen, Senior Vice President of Operations from the People's Community Bank. A community bank of our size cannot afford to wait a year or even months to bring new services onto its core platform. Working with an innovator like Finastra will allow us to offer products and services on par with the largest global financial institutions quickly and easily. So Finastra helping the smaller players so they are able to compete with the big guys, and it's difficult to think that they'd be able to do that without RippleNet technology, allowing cross-border money transfers to happen seamlessly and cost-effectively so that these small players can compete on the same field as the big players. Amazing, just amazing. Going to continue along here. And apparently, RippleNet is now moving into loans. So this from Wrath of Kahneman on Twitter. And he posted this job application here, Director of Product Management and Loans. Again, guys, I didn't get to this information, so I'm sure you guys know about this, so I'm not going to go over it in depth. At Ripple, we provide one frictionless experience to send money globally using the power of blockchain. By joining Ripple's growing global network, financial institutions can process their customers' payments anywhere in the world reliably and cost-effectively. So this just looks like the job description here. So yeah, so it says this director role is best suited for someone who has significant product launch experience, grit, and creativity to conceive of and pioneer novel new solutions to complex problems. RippleNet traditionally serves its customers with a cross-border payment offering. However, Ripple is expanding into loans. It says it right here In this job description, the person will bring a new loan product to market from concept to launch for RippleNet customers. This person will bring strong leadership skills as they will need to collaborate heavily with cross-functional internal teams and the financial ecosystem of partners and customers. So getting into loans, mentioning it here, thought that was kind of interesting. Of course, it is fintech related, so it does make sense. And I know you guys want to hear more about VeChain, so I saw this. This actually posted from CKJ Crypto News. VeChain is getting into the gaming industry, that's right. So you can now integrate VeChain blockchain with games. So the VeChain blockchain network looks to be in for another great development, as a community developer declared that people can now integrate VeChain into games. This is coming on the heels of a sizable growth recorded by VET in the last few days. So here's the tweet here connected to this article. VeChain dev, welcome the third SDK in the family written in C#, to work with VeChain. Now you can integrate VeChain into games, Windows applications natively. The preview of the code is here. So VeChain in the gaming industry. It's not the first time. Earlier in December 2019, IBOS, Microsoft, and Fabled, a game book firm, co-developed a blockchain card game that was designed in line with the 80s best-selling game book The Way of the Tiger. Fable explained that it is delighted to be using blockchain technology to develop such an application, as the technology offers a state-of-the-art approach to achieving its aim. So VeChain getting into the gaming space, guys. More news here. This from Arturo Portilla and InstaRemit. They are a Ripple partner. They're launching SME-focused BizPay in Australia. So InstaRemit, they're a consumer and SMB brand under global fintech platform Neum, and they announced the launch of SMB fintech solution BizPay in Australia. BizPay uses credit limits and corporate cards to convert them into working capital to help businesses make payments, including commercial rent, utilities, or other supplier payments. The announcement comes shortly after the launch of BizPay in Singapore back last month. So SMBs often face challenges in securing loans or credit from banks or financial institutions. Even before the outbreak, only 52% of SMBs in Australia managed to get the loan they needed. Delay in payment caused by the beer flu has further exacerbated credit problems faced by SMBs. While businesses may look to card-based payments to extend payment terms, the high transaction fees and FX markup act as a deterrent for players as well as beneficiaries. So the beer flu obviously having an impact on this, and they're working around it. They're finding a solution to be able to adapt to this new reality. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard, but beer flu cases around the world are still skyrocketing. Okay, this is in part due to maybe more testing is being done. Certain countries are reporting more now. But you know how a few months ago they were saying we need to flatten the curve? That curve really needs to be flattened. Well, some countries are doing well, and others are just not doing so well. So could this have an impact on the future of the economy? Now, I know we're looking at this outlook and we're saying to ourselves, okay, this should be done by, maybe the fall or December. Could it go for maybe about a year? Maybe. Okay, maybe till the spring. But guys, others are assuming that this is going to be a bigger problem for the world than we had originally anticipated. Now, it's all linked to economy, and I'm going to get to that a little later on, but just keep that in mind, though. Another one here, guys, from Boosted Yoda at Crypto Lexus. Obviously a VeChain fan. 300 were evaluated, and VeChain was chosen as the number one, fulfilling all requirements and having the largest number of important partners. So more VeChain news here. This coming out of Germany. Let's take a look at this. So the German Federal Office for Information Security, BSI, recently examined over 300 blockchain projects. The aim of the study was to find the best solution for an intelligent supply chain management system. After completing the study, the BSI published its report and recognized VeChain as the first choice. And so the study highlighted 8 projects, guys. VeChain coming in number 1, receiving the highest score, followed by others including EOS and Corda coming behind VeChain for supply chain. So that coming out of Germany, big news there for VeChain. Again, possibly why we're seeing this price really skyrocket high. It's almost trading at 2 cents now. So entirely possible that VeChain is running on some of this bullish positive news. But we also got the rest of the altcoin market now running in tandem. Of course, VeChain had a bit of a head start. But anyway, I'm going to keep going on with this, and then we'll get to what I think later on in the video. Guys, here's another one from XRP Crypto Wolf. Ripple's new partner, Currency Cloud, just partnered with Mambu, the leading cloud banking platform, to offer increased transparency and scalability of international payments to their clients. So we just heard about this Currency Cloud partnership just the other day, but this just out today. Just a couple of hours ago, Mambu, the market-leading cloud banking platform, has partnered with Currency Cloud. So this partnership brings together two like-minded organizations to deliver out-of-the-box banking capabilities. By integrating Mambu's true SaaS banking platform with Currency Cloud's suite of APIs, customers are able to rapidly deploy flexible enterprise-class collections, virtual accounts, payments, and FX services. Financial services clients will be able to control their customers' end-to-end journey and offer full control over pricing and margin management. Currency Cloud and Mambu, who share a similar vision of the future of banking, will offer pre-configured solutions that further increase speed to market control and flexibility. The broad range of solutions includes both account-to-account collections and payments, as well as card spend capabilities. So boom, another partnership. Currency Cloud just partnered with Ripple just last week, I believe, or maybe even earlier. No, it was last week that they partnered with Ripple. We talked about that. Now they are partnering with Mambu, extending the web, guys. This is how we create a network. It's like if you were the first person with the telephone, you can't phone anybody, but the more people that have telephones, that's what makes the network valuable. Okay, those are words from Brad Garlinghouse. I didn't make that up. We also got this, guys, another one from XRP Crypto Wolf. Ripple's early investors Standard Chartered Bank joins IBOS, which is an international banking network. So a unique international alliance of some of the largest banks in the world. IBOS members collaborate to serve each other's international clients in markets where they themselves do not operate. Standard Charter's rich history and extensive network across Asia, Africa, and the Middle East will complement IBOS's strong geographic coverage in Europe and the Americas, thereby creating compelling global opportunities for clients of all member banks. So it's not even just in the fintech and blockchain sector that we're seeing these large mergers. Now we're seeing cooperation from some of the biggest payment providers, banks, financial institutions all over the world saying, hey, look, we do a lot of business in this region of the world. You do a lot of business in that region of the world. Let's cooperate so that we can share the global business together. It makes sense considering this technology is going to be far-reaching. Why compete against each other when you can use your partnerships to strategically all make money together? I think there's an argument there that could be one of the best ways to do business and way less stress. Right? If you're sharing jurisdictions as opposed to fighting over them, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. That's the mentality there. So the world is moving more and more in this direction. We're seeing partnerships, mergers, acquisitions, all within the fintech space. Banking right here, Standard Charter is joining IBOS. So very, very interesting to say the least. Michael at Val5Links posted this. Not sure what to make of this. So Consensus, Polychain, Tron, and CipherTrace, these are all blockchain startups, by the way. They just got $18 million plus in US PPP bailout loans. Okay, so more than 40 companies in the blockchain and cryptocurrency industry collected at least $18 million in payroll loans from the US government. The US Small Business Administration published details of its Paycheck Protection Program on Monday, revealing a who's who of major and minor firms in the industry. Loan recipients included Zcash developer Electric Coin Company, Ethereum venture studio Consensus, and Rainberry Inc., the U.S. entity acquired by Justin Sun's Tron Foundation at the time of the BitTorrent acquisition in 2018. Crypto venture firms were also represented on the list, including Polychain Capital and Unchained Capital. The PPP, again, that is the Paycheck Protection Program, was created by the Trump administration during the beer flu outbreak to help businesses pay their employees during the ongoing economic crisis. The effort was meant to stem layoffs, though some 44 million Americans have filed for unemployment benefits since March. So this is interesting. Some of these companies interesting, questionable in a lot of ways. Zcash, we know, is a privacy coin, and they're getting money from the U.S. government. Ethereum Venture Studio and Justin Sun's Tron Foundation, just to name a few. If we go down here, some of the loan recipients from the blockchain industry include, and then it gives you guys a large list here: CoinMe, CoinZoom, Athena Bitcoin, Coin Alpha, just to name a few. Oh wow, it goes on and on here. So I don't see Ripple on this list at all, but that doesn't actually bother me. Because Ripple, as we know, a big company worth over $10 billion, they probably do not need the bailout money as some of these smaller firms do. So that is good to note. The other thing that one must note here is that look at where the government is deciding to put their resources, helping blockchain firms be able to ride out this storm, essentially saying, look, we see the benefit in blockchain technology, we see what you're doing, and we understand that this is the future, so here is some money, keep doing what you're doing, hopefully this will prevent layoffs, and you can keep developing so that we can have a robust blockchain infrastructure in the United States in the future, going to what I was saying at the beginning of the video with SEC's Cryptomom Hester Peirce. Okay, we need innovation in the United States. We need these companies to continue to think about innovating as opposed to having to worry about all the other things. Now, she was talking about regulations here, but this is just another point in that same story. If they can ride out the storm, if they don't have to go bust because of the beer flu pandemic, it will give a lot of these companies a lot more opportunity to innovate more and maybe become the next big thing that could help the United States shift gears and move on to that blockchain revolution. There are already a lot of big players in the space, but that's not to say that we don't need more. Of course, this is an ongoing process and we're still at the early stages, guys. As Brad Cam mentioned in yesterday's interview, cryptocurrency adoption, we are all still in the early stages. Aren't you happy you invested early? And to that point, I wanted to get back to these charts. So we're in a bit of an altcoin rally. Is this sustainable? So we've got VET here, guys. We've got XRP, two cryptocurrencies that are doing fairly well. Well, of course, VET's just blowing everyone out of the water. I know. XRP right now, you guys can see just in the last 3 days, XRP has risen roughly just about 13. Where did it go here? It's about 13. Okay, so the high today, I'm just going to go to the high. In the last 3 days, we saw it go over 14%, okay? Right now, XRP is trading at just about 20 cents. And let's just look at the last 3 days of VET. Now, I know VET has just been on a roll. VET over the last 3 days, from the top to the bottom, just the last 3 days, because I mean we can look at a lot of different metrics here, but the last 3 days, VET saw a over 44% increase. And we're seeing that in a lot of the space. Okay, let me just refresh this. We're seeing a lot of gains here in the space. Guys, Bitcoin not doing as great as some of these other coins. Some of these other coins really posting huge gains. Like look at Cardano up 23%. Stellar is even doing really, really well also. So that's XLM Let's take a look at Stellar. So we're seeing a big Stellar pump here too. And yet, guys, when we compare this to Bitcoin, wow, look at how unremarkable the Bitcoin move really is. Let's bring back XRP. Okay, we can see XRP here. XLM. Okay. ADA. Look at that. ADA is Cardano. And then we bring up Bitcoin. And just unremarkable. It looks like nothing ever happened. So what does this mean, guys? Are we in altcoin season right now? How is the outlook? Are we going to see a big boom for alts? Will Bitcoin follow? Okay, well, I just want you guys to be careful, and I don't want to be a bearer of bad news, but I saw this from John Luciano. So tell us something we don't know when you print money like it's going out of style. This article is suggesting the stock market is poised for a 40% drop, and this could affect the cryptocurrency market. So this article here has nothing to do with crypto, but let's go over it for a second and let's analyze this. So stocks are behaving very much like that rebound in 1929, where there is absolute conviction that the virus will be under control and that massive monetary and physical stimuli will reinvigorate the economy. You guys remember earlier in the video, near the halfway mark somewhere, when I was saying some people are thinking, okay, this virus could go till maybe the fall, maybe December, the winter, and maybe at most it'll be 1 year and then that'll be that, everything will be back to normal. Well, the fact of the matter is case numbers are going up and that will affect the economy. Mark my words, guys. He added that the market could drop as much as 40% over the next year, so that would be 12 months. So where should investors park their cash in this climate? And then he gives some ideas on where he thinks people should park their cash. I just want to go down here. This pandemic is likely to be the most disruptive financial and social event since World War II, with equally long-lasting consequences. He wrote, citing the stark unemployment numbers at the time, many will no doubt restrain spending in future years to rebuild savings, especially since the crisis caught them at a time of high debts and short financial reserves. So we're looking at the market and we're thinking to ourselves, you know, here's the S&P guys on the daily. We're thinking to ourselves, well, look at that. You know, we've rebounded quite significantly since this top here. And, you know, we've made another high here, not as high, it's a lower high. Now what's going to happen here? We came back down, retraced a little. Are we going to surpass this high? Ultimately, what we need to do in order to understand that the market is healthy is surpass that high up there. Are we going to be able to do that? Yes or no is the first question. We got to surpass this high. But here's the thing, guys. I'm going to bring up the Dow Jones for a second here, and the Dow Jones looks similar, okay? This is the Dow Jones, and you can see the crash happened at the same time. But when we put this Dow Jones on the weekly, and I've showed you guys this before, and we take the crash of before the Great Depression, okay, here's the Great Depression, okay? Now let me just copy this over for you guys so that you guys can see this. Where is it here? Bars pattern. Okay, the stock market was chugging away. Okay, and then we saw this correction here. I know I've showed you guys this before. Maybe some of you guys haven't caught this video. Chugging away. Let's bring us all the way to present time. So long ago, 1920s, geez. And look at what we have here, guys. So we have the market chugging away, okay, similar to what we saw. And I'm just going to put this beside this so you guys can really see it for yourselves. Market chugging away here, then boom, panic hits, major sell-off. We saw that here as well, okay? Panic hits, major sell-off. Recovery begins. Now, you're thinking to yourself, great, this is great, recovery is continuing, and they thought that as well in 1929. We're thinking that as well during this pandemic. Market is great. Look at that. Market's moving up. Again, guys, this is the Dow Jones on the weekly. But then, guys, look what happened after that. So, wow, a significant downturn, even if I mark these highs, even if I match the high to the high. And he's saying we could still see a 40% downturn in the coming year. Where would that bring us realistically? 40%. All right, let me put this. Let me get that price range down here. 40% at where we are right now on the Dow Jones. Okay, 40% would bring us down to, it's 20, 30, 40-ish percent. Okay, 40% would bring us roughly right back, 39, 40. Okay, that's roughly 40% there, which would bring us now, this was significant, okay? This went down even further and for a longer period of time, but even 40% would bring us down to here, okay, making, there's the 40% mark, and it's kind of funny. I'm sure if you use the Fibonacci on this, you would see that it would all line up fine. This is actually a demand zone, even for that crash back in 1929. Let me get rid of that for a second. 40% would bring us right back down here, and guys, it is quite possible that this could happen for the stock market. Okay, bring us down here to this level of resistance. As you guys can see, a very prominent level of resistance here, bouncing off these levels, 40%. So what does that mean for crypto? Well, guys, we saw this same pattern happen in crypto. Let me put it back on the daily. Let's put it back on the daily for a second here. Whoops. Let me get rid of that on the daily. Okay, this is the DJI, Dow Jones Industrial Average, S&P 500. All these patterns are looking similar. Now let's bring up Bitcoin, similar pattern. Let's bring up XRP. Oops, similar pattern, okay? Let's even bring up, yes, the almighty VeChain, and we even saw a VeChain crash back then. So, that all said, guys, if we do see this 40% downturn in the market, I do not doubt that cryptocurrencies could crash along with the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now, in terms of the altcoin season that we're experiencing right now, have fun with it, guys. Trade your altcoins, make some money in the meantime, especially if you're seeing gains that you feel like, wow, this is, this could be life-changing for me. I could even maybe put a down payment on a new house. And that's not to say that this altcoin season won't run its course either, okay? This prediction of the 40% market crash, he's saying that it'll happen within the next year. So this could happen months down the road, guys. This could happen in the fall. For now, though, it looks as though altcoins are really experiencing some great gains, and it looks like they are just continuing to move until they don't. XRP right now trading over 20 cents, 0.201. So are you planning to sell some of your altcoins this season? Give me percentages. I want to know how much of your portfolio you are looking to sell if altcoins shoot even higher than this. And by the way, guys, this is not financial advice. I'm just giving you my opinions, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.